Anas Aremeyaw Anas dares to investigate where the eyes cannot see.
Welcome to Pulse TV. My name is Betty Kankambwedu. Tonight we have none other than ace investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw Anas, and he is here to have a chat with us. Welcome, Anas. Happy New Year. I guess this is the first interview you're doing this year.
Well, yes.
Any resolutions this year?
Well, it's an election year. We only hope that we keep the peace of this country together so that we can have a good election and may the best win. I think that our commitment to democracy as a people is going to be tested this year. And I feel that this election is not going to be about it's not going to be about money. It's going to be about Ghanaians thinking and deciding to give power to whichever they decide to give to. So it's a year of reflection for the country.
And for you? How about you?
All of us. I'm a citizen of Ghana, and also to probably take stock of what we've done and to improve on it.
How did you manage to, keep your identity hidden? Because I'm sure as a young journalist you had friends, you had people, probably had some photos taken, but my understanding is that you probably don't have any photos in the system, or you have it so controlled.
Well, I always, whenever I get a platform, say thank you to my friends who I've had for many years. I don't really open up to many people, but fortunately I've had friends who have really respected what I have done or what I continue to do. And so, despite the fact that we have had intimate moments of sitting down and playing around as children and all that, they have not leaked my pictures. But tell me, if today my picture was on the front page of the graphic, how are you going to convince Ghanaians that it's me? So you see, we built it systematically, and sometimes it's difficult when I get to introduce myself. Sometimes I want to find my real self. Then they ask, "What's your name?" I want to be real. I said, "My name is Anas." They say, "No, you cannot be him. You are not him." So you get lost sometimes. Yeah. So it's been a systematic development that I will not take credit for. I think all of us as Ghanaians ought to take credit for. People have protected the identity over the years. And anytime I get an opportunity, I say thank you to all of them who have kept me going over the years.
That must be hard for you. You just said that there are times that you tell people that you are Anas, but people just don't believe you. Is that, is that hard for you? Do you think that the kind of life you live now, it's a tough one? Do you think you've missed out on, certain aspects of life because of the path you've chosen?
I think it's certain, taking the risk that are associated with the work. And I don't say this only for myself, because I work with other African colleagues of mine and other world colleagues of mine. So generally, journalism has a problem. It's a hazardous profession, and once you touch the fire, you cannot expect it not to burn you. Don't forget, we take many people to jail. I have done many people at 7, 15, 20, 30 years in jail. Some are better, others have gone over it. There are new people who are in the pipeline. So definitely you generate every time a new crop of enemies who would want to stop you from moving around. But I have lived it over the years. What you ought to know about me is that I love what I do, and I think that's very important. So in spite of the difficulties, I'm not that person who can go out on an ordinary holiday that everybody goes out to have fun and all that. I don't have that luxury. But over the years, I've learned to live it, and I learned and trained under the formidable and energetic hands of Abdul Malik Kwekubaku Jr. of the New Crusading Guide. And all this were part of the training that, hey, if this is the path you are going to choose, you are not going to be ordinary. You're going to lose out and miss out on some of the things. But when they do happen, you take consolation in the fact that At the end of the day, the work you do is able to put a smile on a child who has been trafficked face. It's able to free many people who otherwise, but for your piece of work, could have died. And that is what keeps us going.
What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? You know, what do you do and you're so happy, you're so liberated? You know, what do you do that takes you from the, you know, Anas moment?
I am a very rural and an antique person. That anybody who knows me very well, that you can find me in a village very comfortable, observing and thinking quietly. And maybe ordinarily, if I don't have a village setting around me, I'd spend some time in the library doing a bit of research, and then also to exercise the body a little bit. You can find me doing a bit of swimming.
Do you hang out with friends?
Yeah, I have schoolmates. I have law schoolmates. I have journalism schoolmates, and I have people I grew up with. And I always, up to this time, I always try to make it a family. That, you know, and sometimes when the heat is on and you go masked, it's very embarrassing, because these are people you grew up with. These are people you've eaten in the same pot with for a very long time, and yet you are going and you have some bodyguards, because at that time, it's not every time, but at that time there's something at stake that if you are not careful you'll be shot, and so your bodyguards don't want you to even go out, and then you are saying, look, I cannot miss out on these people, I have to see them, we have these meetings only once a year, let's do it. And you know, sometimes it's not comfortable, but hey, at the end of the day you ask yourself, have you meaningfully contributed to society? Would the work you have done, would it live a life? Would it live after you? If it is yes, then you have some smile.
Let's talk about how you know, your psychological state after you've investigated a case that is, you know, very traumatizing, if I for want of a better word, like the Tanzania albino investigation, for instance.
Sometimes as journalists, if we are not careful, grief could let us lose that story. But the whole purpose is for us to be stronger, because if we are not strong, we are unable to tell the story. If you see that children are being killed and murdered and you start crying, what communication are you communicating? Because you need to be able to tell the world that, look, this is bad, we've got to stop it. So yes, there are difficult moments, and there are things that I cannot say here. It can only appear in a book, maybe some years to come. But as part of the training, you need to be resolute and very firm. And once a touching moment come up, you need to stand firm, because as you stand for those people who are being killed and butchered. And your strength is what is going to make them better tomorrow. So we find our way around, and this is not just me, but many other journalists across.
How do you deal with it afterward? Maybe when you sleep at night, you have images of probably these children screaming, some of the horrific scenes that you saw. You know, you're like a soldier on a battlefield.
Those images ought to induce in you a sense to fight even harder. Yes, so when they come up playing up in our mind, we say, how else can we come in to make the situation better? So they are welcome images. We take them on, and it directs our thinking. It tells us that perhaps we have not done enough and that we need to put in more. So there are difficult moments, like I said, but you have to tell yourself that you have to be strong, not for yourself, but for the entire process.
What is your favorite food?
I'm a village person, and I would do my normal TZ. I can also do rice balls. I'm a very local, like I get up in the morning and I feel like, where's my Hausa cocoa? I mean, that's the kind of
favorite drink?
Yes, no beverage like that. I'm not the I'm not very choosy on what to eat, but once it can keep me going, I'm good.
Okay. And do you have a favorite football team in Ghana and outside?
I don't like saying this, but I hate football.
Why?
Because football is not, I've never liked it. It's been a sport. I wonder why people get so worked up when their teams are. So the only time you see me watching football is when Ghana is playing another country, and perhaps I have colleagues and they've sent me messages, and I have to, because I have to reply to them, I have to know the score, but I'm not a football person.
What's your favorite sport then?
I would always pick basketball over football, but I don't know what football has done to me, but the only thing perhaps I enjoy when it comes to football is its history and mysticism, especially in Africa, and the footballers and what they do, and that's what gets me. I read and I smile, and issues of like the miracle of a WAC and the Kotoko and all those teams, I read them and I have a good laugh.
What about the fuel price hikes, new taxes and all that? A lot of Ghanaians we've interviewed, for instance, people are thinking government is overburdening us, not at this time. Times are already difficult, but government is also saying that we need these monies to sustain the economy, to pay some debts and all that. What is your take on that as well?
As for conditions would always be hard. But you expect that in a normal country, we would have our salaries commensurate with. But you see, because I don't work in the public sector, I'm not even able to make any comparison. But hey, it is the sentiments of the people that matter in any country. And we derived all the powers we have, both presidency, both opposition, all of them derive the powers they have from the people of Ghana. And when the people of Ghana speak, all of us must stop and listen. It doesn't matter who you are.
Obviously, identity is hidden. I'm sure you never want to get into the subject of your family, as well. Maybe your nuclear family, wife and children. But what about the identity of your, extended family? How do they feel about what you do, knowing very well that anytime you get into your investigative mode, your life is at risk?
People get worried sometimes, but it's the hazard of the profession. Once you've chosen it, you've got to be prepared for the things that come along with it. And I think so far I have managed it quite well. You never know. The most important thing is that even if you are caught in action, the world should be able to know that you were embarking on a meaningful cause. For me, that is important. We are not different from other journalists who die in the world. We are not different. We are all humans, and we deal with same issues. So we cannot elevate ourselves, including you, into some kind of gods who can't be killed. But I am saying that if we are shot, we should be shot doing the right things. Then you can be proud, but not being in a meaningless or better self, not doing the right thing. And so if you are caught in action doing the right thing, I think that's where you take your inspiration from. Okay,
I'm sure you have your family, the identity of your extended family hidden as well.
It's not possible, but also there are priorities, and we call the security protocol, which tells you that, yes, no person will set out that I'm coming to destroy your entire extended family. In any case, you could be my family member because we are Ghanaians and we've intermarried over the years. But immediately, the people who are in the immediate setup, who suffer that immediate danger, I try to do my best to keep them out of danger.
Is the bead symbolic, apart from the fact that it's hiding your face, or is just a choice?
I guess that's what tells you that I'm around. That's my signature tune. And it's not only about the beads and the hat, it's also about the sandals I wear. Everybody must have a signature. and that has been my signature for years.
But what's the name of the sandal? This is a typical...
I don't know what you would call it, but I've been wearing it for so many years, and I feel very comfortable in it.
Can we get that? Can we get the sandal?
Oh, no. I feel so shy now.
That is also, that might also expose your identity.
I feel so shy now, but those who know that, yeah, that's the sandal I'm more comfortable in.
What inspires you, and who are your heroes?
The people of Ghana. Very interesting people. Make a mistake, they will bash you morning, afternoon, evening. Do the right thing, they will praise you, and they will make you feel that you are their darling. Go left a little bit and they will prove to you who they are. Very interesting people. Whenever I come home, I become more confident and more proud of my country, Ghana. Because things work slowly, but the energy of Ghanaians, go to social media, they will take the issue, turn it around, move it left, move it right, and it gives me a lot of hope, and it tells me that sometimes I'm not alone in the fight. So in other places, perhaps you'll be shot dead. You won't survive it. And people can't even understand why you should jail their parents. But Ghanaians as a people, look at the various civil society organizations we have. Look at Occupy Ghana, which represents the middle class. Look at the lower class. Look at the elitist class and all those associations. It's fantastic. And I'm very, very hopeful that if we all put our hands on deck as a people, we're going to move this country forward, and it can be the best country in Africa.
Any final words?
I believe in Ghana. I think we can make it as a people. I'm not saying that there won't be problems, there won't be political differences. There will be. But at the end of the day, we have to know what is the national interest and what is the partisan interest. As a people, if we can differentiate what is the national interest and what is partisan, I think that we are going to become a better people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anas, it was an honor
Thank you.
having you on Pulse TV.
Thank you.